Great. So yesterday we went a little bit through some of the check-in to make sure that we cover everything. We talk about local development without Git. All of them are quite simple. How the folder structure work? How can I open a new terminal? What is CD, ls, cat, touch, make dir? How can I write simple markdown? Of course, remember all the time, markdown, we have documentation for everything in programming. So I can just say markdown guide or documentation here. And if I click on here, it will give me a guide here. So any library or any language, anything we are using all the time, we have a documentation for it. That means you can go to the documentation all the time and you can search. So if you get started here, it will show you, I'll give you a lot of information. Yeah, here's a cheat sheet, which is really nice, how we can do heading, how can I make the text bold or italic, how can I create order list and order list, table, and so on and so on and so on. So all the time, remember, you have always documentation for everything. That should be easy. How can I add a new file, a new folder, delete a file, delete a folder? How can I preview Markdown? I think all of that should be simple. Yes?
Yes.
Great. npm install, when we need to use it, of course, if you have a package.json and you close a repo, you need to do npm install. Package.json is very important file because it include a description about my repo. Also, it include all the dependency and dev dependency. So how can I run script? You already know all of that. We talked about it yesterday. What is the cspell.json? So if I have unknown word, I can just add it to cspell.json, lent ls, lent md, and voila, you can write a markdown file without looking at your keyboard. Well, it will take some time for you to write without looking at your keyboard. It's fine here. Local development with Git, also we seen here what is Git init. Git init, as I told you, if you don't have a repo and you have a local file here, let's say I have a local file here, and I want to ask Git to start tracking my project, I can just say Git init. I'm not gonna do it, but here, what we're doing, Git init, it will start tracking my my folder here or my repo here test. Now, we need to use Git init if we did not create a repo already and we want to have a code here and track our changes. And then after that, we can push to GitHub to create a repo. But for you, as I told you, as a beginner, it's always a good idea to create a repo, then clone the repo. If you do so, you don't need Git init. Git add, you already know, Git status, you know, Git commit, you know, Git log, you know, Git branch, Git checkout branch. So those are two steps here to create a branch. I can just say Git branch, the name of the branch. That's to create the branch, then I can check out the branch. That's mean go to my branch. Or I can do it in one step here, Git checkout -b and the name of the branch. It will create the branch for me and it will check out the branch. Git merge, you will not use it locally, so let's not use this command for now. Git log, it will show me all the comment here or the commit I did for my Git. So I'm currently not inside a Git repo. So let me go to inside Git repo here. I will take home, for example, because that's Git repo here. And how could I know it's a Git repo? How could I know it's a Git repo? How could I know it's a Git repo?
Because
well, yeah, you can see that there is a main branch here. If I say git log here, it will show me all the comment I made here, as you can see. I have a lot of comment in this repo here, home, as you can see. And in each one of those, of course, as you can see, I need to, it will show me the message I did. It will show me here, that's called hash ID for the comment. We use this hash ID to go, if I want to go back in time. So if I make a mistake and I want to go back to specific commit, specific time, I can use this hash key or hash ID to go back in time. Other than that, also show me the author, also the date. That should be simple. Okay, what else? We've seen also git stash. I told you the git stash is my way to hide my changes. So for example, sometime if I do git pull and it will happen next week, because next week we will work on the same file. So you will have a lot of conflict. So sometime if you do git pull or do something, Git will not allow you, like I showed you yesterday. on Susanna's laptop. So I need somehow to hide my changes. So how can I hide my changes? It's quite simple. If I say get stash, it will hide all my changes, and after that I can say get pull to get the changes in. If I want my change back, I can just say get stash apply. So it's just get slash apply. That should be simple. Get graph is an extension here for VS Code here. So where is the get graph? I think one of those is get graph. So it show me my which one is those? Yeah, I think this one here. It shows a get as, so maybe I can just search here, get graph, and where is it? Yeah, so that's get graph here. It's just an extension here, and it will show you, as you can see here, like a graphical tool. It will show you your branch with all the comment here. You could all the comment you made. It will show it as a graph here. It's just some extension if you want to use it. I honestly don't use it, but just to tell you what is get graph. Other than that, no problem here. Atomic comment, as I told you, whenever you're writing a comment for when you add your changes and you want to commit your changes all the time, it's a good idea to add what you call atomic comment. Atomic comment means the comment should not be very long, and also it should not be very short, but it should be to the point. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, let's say I am working on a branch and I've added the title of my page, for let's say. So here I can just say add page title, for example. So as you can see, this comment here, this comment or this message here, as you can see, it's short, it's to the point. It's not very long, but anyone just can read it here, can understand that I am trying to add the page title. That's what you call atomic comment. So far here it was local development. Local development means it's on your PC, on your device, and after that, 3 will go to local and remote development. Of course, remote development, it will be on GitHub because GitHub is the server. What did I need to explain? SSH key. SSH key, it's a way to, so when from my terminal, I can create SSH key, and it will give me 2 keys. I have one public key, I will keep it on my laptop, and one private key. So give me 2 type of key. The public key, I will take it and I put it on GitHub. So there a way to put it, and the private one here, it will stay on my laptop. I don't think for now it will be a good idea to look at this one here. It will be a little bit complex for you. Maybe we can do it a little bit later. A license, we talk about license here. Create a new repo, that should be simple. Write a description, should be simple. Turn on GitHub pages. You already know how to turn on GitHub pages, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You already know how to protect your default branch, if I'm not mistaken. Configure to block merge, it's the same idea. Clone remote repo to your computer. You know how to clone a repo. That should be simple. Initialize a new repo locally. Initialize a new repo locally. That means I don't have it on my on GitHub, but I have it on my machine here. So let's say I have a file here and I want to ask Git to track the changes here. In order to do so, I need to use Git init, as you know. Get pull and push. We already know what's get pull and push. So the idea, it's quite simple actually. Let's do this one here. So let's say I have, this is my local machine, or what we call client. So let me duplicate this one. And this will be my repo here on GitHub. So let's try to do this one here. So that would be my client. And here that will be GitHub on the server. So all the time, if I have some changes on my code on specific branch, as you know, and I want this change to be appear on GitHub, so I need to say git. I need to push my code, right? So it will be push. But sometimes we have some changes on GitHub and I don't have them on my local machine. So it will be the opposite here. I need to pull. Voila. That's the idea. So we are pushing from a client to our repo on GitHub, and we are pulling the code from GitHub repo to our local machine or our client. So there's a difference between pull and push. Should be simple. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. After that, Look, yeah, branching on Git and branching is quite important. Actually, let's go through branching again. So why do we need branching? Why branching is super important? Well, branching is super important because, as I told you all the time, we should never work with the main. We keep main branch only for the final product. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go back to our code again. So let's say that's my BC here. That's my BC, and that will be my repo on GitHub here. I can just do this one. So here it will be my BC, my client here, and here it will be GitHub. Okay, now whenever I create any repo on GitHub, I will have by default one branch, we call it main. When I clone this repo to my BC, also I will have a local, so I will have one branch called main. Now, why we should not work on main? Well, the idea here is if I have some code normally, imagine it this way. We've been working on a project for like 6 or 7 months, and we have our code on main all the time. Whenever we make some changes or any colleague makes some changes, he will make a branch from main. Let's name it branch 1. And branch 1 here, it will, when I create my branch from main, it will copy everything from main to this branch. And then after that, I can add my code until I'm finished. When I finish writing my code, I test my code, it's working, everything is good. I can now add my changes, commit my changes, and push my code to GitHub. Of course, now when I push my code to GitHub, I don't have this branch here, B1. But when I push my code here, I will have this branch also. So it will create this branch on GitHub as well. So now, because my code, my colleague review my code, everything is good, I want somehow to merge it with the main on GitHub. So of course, I will need to create a PR, which should be a pull request. And after that, when my colleague approve my pull request here, I will have the code, the good code, the working code on main. So now, why, if I'm going to create a new feature, why I should not work on main again? Because if I work on main, I have some code working. Let's say I work on the main, and after that, the feature did not work, or something did not work, and I push directly my code to main. I've already have working code. So if I put another code, everyone pushing to main, after that, the code, it will break the code. And maybe this code took us like 6-7 months to write a lot of code. It was working, and someone just pushed to the main, and he broke the code. It will be a big problem. So to avoid that here, the easiest way is to create different branches all the time. Whenever I need to create a new feature, I can create a branch from main. And when I create a branch from main, of course, I will have copy from the main. And after that, I can add my feature. When I'm happy with it, I test my code, everything is working. Then I can push my code. And of course, this branch will be created also on GitHub. And after that, I can send the PR. And when my colleague approve my PR, it will be merged to main. Of course, notice something here. My local main here, I don't have the code which belong to B1 or on branch 1 or branch 2. Why? Because I did not. So I just, when I create my branch, I had the code on main. But after that, I add a lot of code. And here there is no connection between main, branch 1 and branch 2. So I push my code, I make a pull request and merge it to the main, but it's not the local main, it's the remote main on GitHub. Now I need this code now on my own main. In order to do so, I can simply check out main, go to the main here, and I can just say get pull, simply like that. And if I say get pull here, it will pull all the changes from the remote main to my local main. Is the idea clear? Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
So branching, yeah, so branching is very important. It's very nice actually. Get to the habit to create branch for everything. It's really good practice. Like that, your code, it will be divided into smaller part. At any point, you can, if you don't remember what was in the branch, you can switch to the branch here on Git or locally, or even on GitHub. You can see everything on the branch. You can see what was on this branch. Like that, you will be dividing your code into. So each smaller code, it will be on one branch like that. It will be better for your code, and like that, here we are not breaking the main. Remember one thing here, before you are creating any branch from main, make sure to do get pull all the time. Can anyone tell me why it's a good practice before I create any branch to do get pull? So I am on the main, I want to create a branch. Yeah. Let me clarify the question, and then after that I will ask you. So before now I create any branch, it's a good idea to do get pull and then create the branch. Why? Can anyone tell me why?
Because you need to keep update your code from GitHub.
Very good. Because why? Because before I create branch tree, it's always good idea to do git pull, because I don't know if, because we are working on this repo as a group, so maybe one of my colleague make a pull request and another colleague approve his pull request. Now I don't have the latest code here. So I need to have the latest code like that. So git pull to get the latest code, then I create my branch. And like that here, B3 here, it will have all the new code. So all the updated code. And now from B3, I can now start adding my code again until I'm happy with it and test it. If everything is working, then I will push my code. Then I will make a PR. I think the idea should be clear if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
Yeah, it's clear.
Great. Yeah, how to merge your remote branch. A remote branch is just mean to when you have a PR pull request, you can merge it to main. We've done it multiple times, so it should be simple here. Contribute guideline. Now, there is a lot of open source projects. So what is open source project here? Actually, open source project, it's here, but anyway. So let's go here, let's see, contribute guideline, code of conduct. Don't worry about these ones. They're just some extra stuff here. Repository contributor. Normally, if you have a repo, the author of the repo should write some description in the README here, in the main README. You should write some description. If you want to, for example, to contribute to this specific repo, you want to add some code, you want to solve an issue, it should show you a guideline. If you want to contribute, for example, you need to do that, you need to do that. So all you have to do just to follow this step. Normally, that how it should be the case. Issue template, of course, when you create an issue, if you remember, you are using the template, the issue was already, there was a lot of step already for you. Why? Because we have some template for the issue, which will save you some time. You already have all the step written for you. Code review, yeah, I mean, code review should be simple. When you have a pull request, you need to review the code. And I'll show you yesterday or before yesterday. So let me go in here, for example. Let's check any repo we want to here. Click. Click. Yeah, let me just go, for example, to group one intro, for example. I will go to pull request and they are closed, I know, but just to show you. Let's say I have this pull request, for example. I need to review it. And in order to review it, I need to know this colleague, what does he change? I cannot just merge his code without knowing anything. So in order to check what he changed, I can click on file changed, as you see. And in the file change, it will show me on the left, it will be the previous version. And on the right, it will be the new version. So I can see here what he has changed. And the line here in red, that means this guy has been removed. And this one, the green one is being added, as you can see. So this one here, it looks like it's not changed at all. But the green one, that means it's been added. The red one here, that means it's been modified or deleted. Simply like that. So that's a good way to review the pull request before merging. I think that should be easy as well. Use a project board. You already know how to use a project board. So project board is very important, actually. Get into the habit of using project board all the time. So first you need to create your issue. Before any project, you need to have a plan, discuss with your colleague, create all the issue, put it inside to do. And when you start working on any issue, it's a good idea to move it to doing. Like that, everyone knows that you are currently working on this specific issue. And of course, when you are done with the issue, you can move it to ready for review. Of course, you need to make a pull request and you need to link the issue right here to your pull request. And here, when your colleague review your code, if it's good enough, he will merge it to the main, and your issue should be closed automatically if it's linked to the pull request, and then it will be moved to done. If you are not happy with it, you can just write some notes to telling him, please, maybe you can modify this part or this part, and then move it to need a revision. And when, for example, I come here and I found there is an issue and need a revision, my issue is here, I will know that I need to do some modification. So I will move it again to doing. I will check here and I will go here down to see if there is any note. I mean, normally if it's in need a revision, that means the reviewer wants from you to modify something. And that means he need to leave you some notes so you know what you have to modify. So I will check what I have to modify. After that, I will modify it until I am done, and then I will move it again to ready for review. That should be simple. Yep. Assign someone to your pull request. That should be simple. Future to discuss your code with your reviewers. That should be simple. Fixing merge conflict. I've already fixed one or two merge conflict with you. So whenever you have a merge conflict, you will not be able to merge your branch. It will tell you there is resolve conflict. You click on that. After that, the guy who did the pull request should sit with you. And then after that, you discuss, okay, that's part of the code we want. That's the part of the code we don't want. And everything you don't want, you should delete it. Everything you want, you should keep it. And after that, mark as resolved, and voila, then you will merge it. Simply like that. That should be okay. Now, open source projects, there's a lot of projects which are open source. That means everyone can contribute to them. So what you can do here, you can search online for some open project if you want to. Of course, not now, not for, I don't think it's good for you to do now. Later on, when you finish the training, it will be good for you. So what you can do here, if you go to any open source project, you will find a lot of open issue here. And you can read the issue. And for example, let's say one of the issue here, for example, it's, let's say you are trying to create a loop in JavaScript or something like that. So you know that you can solve this issue and you want to work on it. So what you can do here, you can just communicate with the owner of the repo and ask him to assign this issue to you. And when he assigns the issue to you, you can write the code. So you need, of course, to clone the repo. When you clone the repo, after that, you need to create a new branch and then try to solve the issue. And then after that, you will push your code, make a pull request. And if the owner of the open source project finds that your solution is okay, is good enough, he will merge it. So that's what you call contribution to open source project. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Committing the issue, I mean, that should be simple. Opening the issue, you know how to create an issue. Contribute also. There is another way to contribute to open source project. So step one, if the owner of the project add you as a collaborator. So in this case, all you have to do, you just can clone the repo, create a new branch, and push it. There is another way here, which is fork the repo. What do I mean by that? Let's try to find any repo I want to. So maybe I can search for. I'm not sure if I have React. Let's see. React GitHub. So let's say, yeah, I have something like that. Yeah, let's say React design, for example. Let's say, or React Dev here. I want to, so as you can see here, we have a lot of open issues here, bugs, stuff like that here. Let's say I raise this issue and I think that I can solve it and I want to contribute to this project. But now the owner of this React Dev, they don't have to really to add me. If I don't want to add me, I can make a fork from the repo. Can anyone know what is a fork? Anyone know what fork repo mean?
Yeah, just
Like a copy?
to create a copy.
Yes. So you can create your own copy. So now if I click on fork like that, notice it will tell me when do you want, where do you want to fork it? What is the owner? I will choose my GitHub username. And then when I say create fork like that, voila, now I have my own copy, as you can see. And it's my own GitHub account. So I can fork this repo. And after I fork this repo here, I can add my change any place I want to here. And yeah, after I did this one here, when I push my code, it will give me some option. I just need to tell him that I want to. The point here, I'm not sure if I can show you that. Can I show you here? Let's just click on this one. Click on this one. Click on this one. Click on this one. No, I cannot. So normally before you are creating your pull request, as you can see, the pull request from this branch to this branch here. So what you can do if you are forking the repo, you can change these branches. You can say that it is your main branch on your own fork to the main branch of the remote of the repo you forked it. So you can play with these two here and like that. it will make like something like a pull request. It will just push your code to the original repo, and if the owner of the repo approved it, he will merge it. It's very similar to pull request, but in this case, we have our own copy. I will show you an example later on if we have any repo we can contribute to it. But for now, I think it should be fine. I mean, because I doubt that anyone of you should contribute now. You need to practice more before that. Question.
That's you.
Okay. So that's basically everything related to our module today or this week here. So please, what I want from you to do, just complete your issue, go to the check-in issue, and then if you understand this learning objective, please check it. If you don't understand something you don't understand, keep it unchecked. And after that, here I can explain it to you. Yeah, but here it's nothing, you can understand it here. It's just telling you can just type without looking at your keyboard, that's fine. The rest of this one here, explain why it's important to include license. So I told you before, the license is important because the license define how can I use this repo. For example, MIT, which is the license we are using, it's allow me to clone any repo I want to, or fork any repo I want to, and I can reuse the example. Choose a license for my project all the time. I will use MIT. SSH key, I'm going to explain later on, not now. But the idea here, what's going on here, I can use my terminal to create something called SSH key. SSH key, it's very long string. It's very long string, which consists of numbers and letters. It's just like, if you remember, if I get log here, click on this one.
The number, it was behind the comment, yes?
Yes, exactly. So it's something like that. Your SSH key, something like that. It's actually much longer, but it's something like that. And when you create it on your terminal, it will give you two keys, one public key and one private key. The private key, you should keep it on your laptop. The public key, you should take it to GitHub. So if I go to my GitHub account, if they did not change anything, let me check. Click on that. And here I can just say, where is it? Setting. If I click go to setting, I have something called SSH key, as you can see. So if I click on this one here, I can add a new SSH key if I want to. I can just give it a title and I add my key here. So it will be something like that, very long. And like that here, I will be able to clone the repo also. So if I go to any repo I want to, let's just take this React div here. I want to clone this repo. Now, when I click on this one, normally we use HTTPS, but also we can use SSH key as well. But to use this one here, you need to already to create a key, and you have, as I showed you, when you create a key, you will have two type of key. One, you should keep it on your laptop, and the second one, you should add it to GitHub. But for us now, we all the time we use HTTPS, so let's for now ignore it here. It will be a bit complex for you, so I don't want to complicate it. We can do it later on. Yeah.
We can make SSH inside our local machine. Not,
yes, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, of course.
So it's not
it's a
only
command
on
in your
GitHub.
terminal. How to create
Okay.
SSH
Okay.
key on Mac. Let's see. So if I click on this one here, and here, so that's the command here. You have to just say SSH dash keygen -b and some. So if you open your terminal and paste this one, what's going to do here, it will create two type of key for you. One of them is public and one of them it will be private. The public one here, you can just open it. It will be inside like a TXT file. You can open it, copy it, go to your GitHub account, paste it there. And for the private one, it should stay on your laptop, simply like that. So it's not that biggie. Yeah, it's just one command, no more, no, but I'm not sure if it's different from Windows to Mac and Linux, because I think on Windows it should be a little bit different, the command. But let's ignore it. Let's not do it now. We can do it later on, maybe next week or the week after, like that. You will get used more to the terminal and it will not be difficult for you. Yes?
Okay.
Question?
Yes, I have a question.
Mhm.
So it's about the continuous, let me find that word, continuous integration.
Continuous integration.
Yes, under, I think it's the number 3, local and remote development, we have a continuous integration. So what is GitHub Actions?
GitHub Actions, so if we go to here, do I have any GitHub action here? It's a little bit advanced. I don't think it will be suitable for you for now to explain GitHub action. So as you can see, I have .github, as you can see. So I can have a file inside my repo, which is called .github. And if I open this one here, as you can see here, click on this one, I can create a file with the extension YAML, YAML. And here I need to write some commands. So what I'm doing here, what I'm saying here, every time something happen in this repo, there is a new pull request, what do I want to do? Well, here I want you all the time, for example, to do npm install. Whenever I push my code, automatically on GitHub, I want you to install and do npm install, run npm run format check, npm run lint ls, npm run lint md. And that's the reason why on GitHub, when you have some error here, it shows you that you have an error in linting. The reason why GitHub runs this, show you this error because of this one here. So that's what you call GitHub Actions. But again, for you now, I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with GitHub.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so let me go here and show you what do I mean, just so it will be very clear for you. Let's take one of the repos, for example, group 1 or 2 or 3, and let's take one of the pull requests. Click on this one, click on this one. So when you go to the pull request, before that you find something like that, all check passed, for example, or you have one error, npm, you did not do npm run prettier. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Yes, so this action, GitHub action, actually, why do we have this one? Well, we have this one because simply inside my repo, as you can see, I have this YAML file, and YAML file here, it's just another file. It's just similar to JSON here. The syntax is different, of course. It's similar to JSON, but the idea here, what I can do, I can ask if any user gonna make a pull request, I want to do something here. And what I'm doing here, if any user or any student, for example, do a pull request, I want to do npm install. So I will try to install all the dependency. Then I will try to run npm run format check. And in case I have any error, I want to show this error to that, for example, you have an error in formatting. Or after that, it will run this command, then it will run this command. And that simply is GitHub Actions. Cool? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. What I want from you to do also is, I'll go to here. So when you are done from checking all of that, you can come to week 1 here. And week 1 here, of course, you need to edit this one. So you click on this 3 dot, edit. You'll go down, 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 down here. So that was week 1. So what do you think you need help with? So do you need help with something, for example? For example, I need help with Git. I need some help with Git. Only, of course, if you need Git here. I don't remember the command and stuff like that. So what you can do here, you can, if you have anything you need help with, you can just write it here. What went well? So what was okay for you? Which part was okay? For example, let's say working with GitHub, it was simple. Working with, I don't know, student bio, it was quite simple. Blah, blah. What went well? What went less well? So what did you struggle with? For example, I struggled a little bit to remember GitHub command or stuff like that. I was not able to solve a conflict, something like that. And what did you learn in this module? For example, I learned Git, how to use Git, and with all Git command. I've learned how to use GitHub. I've learned how to write an MD file. I've learned how to use npm. I've learned what is node, and so on and so on and so on. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will give you some time to finish your project here. So take your time. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to review.
Samir, so we don't have to check the SSH one because you
No,
said
you
it's
don't.
gonna check. You don't have to check that one, right?
Yeah, you don't have to check it. I will teach
Okay.
you later, not now. It will
All
be
right.
better to teach you a little bit. Okay,
All right.
that's very good here. So I'm going to move it to done, and I need to close it. Nice. Okay. Guys, group one, Antoine,
Yes.
Akhsan, and I think Mohammed. So every time when you have a repo, it's a good idea to turn off GitHub pages. You can just go to pages like that. You've already did that. So what you can do here, after you turn GitHub pages, you can copy this link, go in here, and here you click on the about, and you can add your website, the link here. And then what is this group? You can just add some description. You can just say group one intro or something like that. And if I save it this way, now anyone want to preview your code now, you can just what the hell is going on here? Well, anyone want to preview your code, especially when you are working with HTML, you can just click on this one, and voila, now you can see it here. It's so your repo is being deployed to GitHub pages, which is nicer. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's try to close this one as well. Good job. Voila. Groups 3. Very good. It just the images are a little bit big, but that's fine. And voila, very good. Everything should be fine. Yeah. Good.
Hello, Sam. Can we
Yes.
still do some modification on our profile? Although we have already finished, can we still go there and still, play with it? Or
Absolutely. So my advice for
okay, thank
you
you.
for today, I think it will be a good idea to go again to your GitHub profile, because GitHub profile is very important. It's important professionally. That's the point here. So anyone who want to go to your GitHub profile, he should see something quite nice. And also maybe you can include some of these stats here. For example, most used languages, and there's a lot of them. So if you Google these stats, you can find a lot of those stuff here. You can add them to your GitHub profile. So you can spend today, try to make your GitHub profile as nice as possible. Yeah. But first, please finish your check-in so I can check them and close them. And if there's anything you don't understand, so I can explain it. And then you can go and continue working on your GitHub profile.
I have a question.
Yes, what's the question?
So when the project is done, it's automatically closed in GitHub, or you can access again in GitHub to the project?
Which project? GitHub profile?
No, in general.
No, your project are not closed. All of them are here. Your project are here.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
access them at any point. You can work on them at any point. It's okay. Nothing is closed. Just we close the issues. That's it. But your repo is still there. Your work is still there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's just click on this one. Home. So what I can do here, I should have 15. 2, yeah, it's 15. Very good. And I should be okay. Let me just say get stats. Short line. So if you Google a little bit here, I think it will show you a lot of nice stuff here. Yeah, let's see here. Voila. So you can also add some labels, stuff like that. Yeah. Or maybe you can just write here, nice GitHub profiles. And you can just click on that and it will show you a lot of nice ones here. So as you can see, GitHub action, you can just have game mode, stuff like that. So you can search here, you'll find a lot of nice stuff. A lot of nice stuff here. So yeah, you can make it as nice as possible. You have icon. Yeah, I can share this one with you and you can just check it here. Try to include whatever you want to until you are happy with it. Voila. Let me click on this one here. For mine here, for the stat here, you can just copy this link here, which is http GitHub readme stat.versal app. But here, the username here, you need to change it to your own GitHub username. Other than that, it should work, I think. Yeah, for everyone. So if you want to include these one top languages, you can include it. Why not? But you need to change your GitHub username. Cool.
Thank you.
Yes. Let me stop recording.